Tech News Weekly is sponsored by Hover.com. Go to gfu.hover.com and get 10% off your entire purchase. FreshBooks. FreshBooks is an easy-to-use online invoicing service that saves you time, gets you paid faster, and makes you look professional. Get started completely for free at FreshBooks.com. And by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook by going to audiblepodcast.com/GFQ.
Starting Tech News Weekly in 3, 2, 1.
Doing pretty good. Just saw your interview with B-Real. Pretty awesome. It was
We don't
awesome,
hear
man. You did a
Andrew.
good job.
Now you hear me,
We
right?
don't hear-
You hear me.
Yeah, now I do.
There we go. I
Yeah.
still got to learn this mix minus crap. I got Chase from Geek Gamer Weekly, Geek Gamer Radio, Geek Gamer Monthly, Geek Gamer Tuesday, Geek Gamer Wednesday. Pretty much that
Hey.
covers it all, right? I just said it all, so I don't say the wrong thing.
GeekGamer.tv, but that's okay.
There you go. GeekGamer.tv. You do more than one show now.
Yeah, we have 2 shows.
Yeah, you do the Minecraft show,
That's right.
which I
Minecraft
cannot,
show every Thursday,
and you have the Geek Gamer show.
and the Geek Gamer Weekly show on Sunday nights. Yeah.
I tried Minecraft, by the way.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Finally.
I tried.
Good.
You know what? I actually tried it because of you and the show that you guys do. Because I was like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna try it because you're talking about it. A lot of people talking about it. I couldn't understand it. I feel dumb. I really do. Like I feel like I'm not at the intelligence level of most people playing this game because I could not understand. I planted a brick somewhere. Like, what do you do? Can you explain Minecraft to me?
All right. You ever play with Lego?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Essentially, what Minecraft is Lego, but in a video game world where you can basically create whatever you want, and you have to mine, hence the name of the game, for other materials to build certain things.
Okay.
And it can go from very basic to very advanced.
So do you
And the show
kill
that-
people? Like, can you kill people and things?
Oh, absolutely, and that's part of the game too to get certain materials.
Okay.
So you kill animals, sheep to get wool.
People?
To get
Can I kill, like, if Suncast is playing, can I kill Suncast in the game?
No.
You could absolutely if you're doing a player versus player. Absolutely, yeah, for
So
sure.
you can build
For
guns.
sure. And actually, I'd help you out, Andrew. I'd help you take his stuff.
Okay.
And help you equip you with it. So yes.
You can't kill me if I'm not on it. So
I don't know. It didn't. You know what? Maybe you need to teach me. Like, you need to hold my hand and just teach me how to play.
Well, we need
Andrew
to talk
is now
anyway.
at that age where he does not understand the latest in video gaming.
I think I've hit that level.
So Super Nintendo was the last major console you owned, I would assume.
I own all of them. I own PS3.
Okay.
I had a 3DO. I have everything. You know what the last game was that I played?
Duck Hunt.
No, dope. I got into like SmackDown versus Raw 2011.
It's a good game.
Street Fighter. I'm good at Street Fighter.
Okay. Button mashing. Okay.
Okay,
All
yeah,
right.
button mashing. I'm good at that. I'm a big StarCraft fan. StarCraft 2 I played a lot.
Okay. Or now you're starting to talk more advanced games.
Yeah,
Okay.
Warcraft. I was World of Warcraft. I was heavily into that. I got to level 52.
What about Battlefield 3? What about Call of Duty? What about those
I
games?
can't do first person shooters.
You're missing out on a whole huge genre. Maybe that's why you don't get Minecraft, because it's quasi first person shooter ish, sort of. I'll show you. I'll show you how it works. It's not hard.
You might need to show me. But this is the show where we cover tech news of the week, hence the name Tech News Weekly. We run down all the top stories that in technology. Suncast, would you do the honors of picking the first story? Because I don't have notes in front of me.
Well, why don't we go with the biggest one for the week, which is the co-CEOs of RIM, Mike Lazaridis and Jim Balsillie, stepping down from RIM.
You know what? About time.
Yeah, you think?
Too late.
They've had so much pressure on them for the past, I think, year that I think it's kind of gotten to them now, and they've realized, well, maybe it is a good idea for us to step down. The ironic part is they did this big move where they stepped down. They appointed, I believe the guy's name is Thorsten Heinz, and even after they made the move, their stock went down 8%.
Yeah, well, I think the problem is that a lot of people lost faith in RIM. They don't. Do you trust the brand anymore? I mean, after the problem that they had this year and the fact that they are falling so behind, and I'll ask Chase this too, is RIM even a contender when you're looking to purchase a phone? I'll go to Suncast first, and I'll go to Chase second. Suncast, would you? I mean, you're a RIM user. You have a BlackBerry right now.
I do have a BlackBerry, but it's from 2007. I haven't done anything since because it's just such a changing world out there, and there's so many phones. But if I were to, I would not get a BlackBerry right now. This is the thing is that they've been in a transition period now for at least 18 months. Ever since they bought QNX and decided that's what they're going to use for their new operating system. For the last 18 months, they've been in this transition period, and we still have at least 8 months more to go before they even have anything for consumers to purchase that's based on this QNX stuff. As far as the phone goes, yes, we've seen the BlackBerry playbook, but let's face it, that's pretty big failure, and that's what worries me is that they're betting big on QNX stuff that they have coming out. These BlackBerry 10 phones that's not even supposed to be out until second half of this year, probably around September or November. And we've already seen the BlackBerry playbook, which is based on all of that stuff, and nobody cared about it.
Mm-hmm.
So what's going to happen when these BlackBerry 10 phones come out that are based on what the playbook is, basically, and nobody buys it?
Yeah. Chase,
are they finished for then?
Chase, what do you think of this whole issue with BlackBerry?
Well, this started years ago when they decided not to accelerate their roadmap and try to push the envelope. I mean, you look at the BlackBerry Bold and their full touchscreen phones, and they're like, oh, and it was so clunky. The interface was slow, and I used to recommend to people about BlackBerry, if you're looking for a solid phone for email only, then this is the phone for you. But now with everything being accelerated towards smart devices, not only email, but apps and that sort of thing. My company, I have a BlackBerry right here, and my company recently announced that they have decided that they're not only changing carriers, which is a little irrelevant to the BlackBerry situation, but they're getting rid of all the BlackBerries, and they're going to give us all iPhone 4Ss.
But this is exactly what I've been saying.
Well, let me ask you, are they running a BlackBerry Enterprise server?
Right now they are, yes.
So then what's their reasoning for going away with BlackBerry Enterprise? Because that's still a very good product for businesses, I think.
Well, partly I think it's because of the fact that we're looking at more of a, like web apps and enterprise apps that we can use on our phones to have better ways of accessing the data that we use on our jobs.
So you're looking for more of what somebody can do with some sort of different applications that they can access rather than it being from a manageable standpoint of an admin taking these products, these devices, and being able to manage everything about them.
Yeah, I don't think this is an admin decision where they can't manage the BlackBerries and that sort of thing. I mean, they're looking at expandability. They're looking at moving towards apps and platforms that we can use easier in the field. And part of the problem with some of these BlackBerry devices, and I don't think it's network indicative, they're slow. I mean, when comparing it to an iPhone or even an Android device, I'm pulling up a web browser on my BlackBerry, and it's just painful. And, I pull up the same exact site, same exact network on my iPhone or on an Android device, and it pops right up like it's brand spanking new. And, I mean, that's the problem right now. RIM, for so long, has taken into account all these enterprise customers like, oh, they're not going to leave us. They're not going to leave us. We're BlackBerry. Business people love our BlackBerry.
Well, the problem was that they instituted that 10-year business plan and that 10-year plan, and they stuck with that 10-year plan for a long time. I mean, they're still sticking to that 10-year plan where obviously you cannot predict what is going to happen next year in technology. You have to change the way that you're conducting business.
You have to plan at least 2-3 years ahead.
I mean, 2-3 years
Yeah.
ahead, yes, but you know what? You have to reevaluate what you're doing every 18 months.
Right, because
mean,
if you look at it, they started this whole QNX thing, like I said, 18 months ago, and even now they're still late. That's part of the problem. Is it's great that they announced that this guy, I'll pull his picture up here so that you can see him. Thorsten Hein, he's been with the company since 2007, and he's an insider.
Yeah,
which a
he's
lot of
actually
people
he's an
don't like,
engineer.
because they were
He's-
looking for somebody that's more of an outsider that's going to make a whole lot of changes and just totally change the way RIM operates. And now that they picked somebody that's an insider, they're worried that, oh, well, he's just going to be a puppet for Jim and Mike because they're still on the board. They still have a hand at what's going on with RIM day to day.
Right now, the roadmap is saying that in March to April, BlackBerry 7.1 upgrade will happen. BlackBerry Playbook 7-inch 3G, white 9790, curve 9380 white, color variations in a 9360, a new curve 9220 and 9320. In June and August, we're going to see the 7.1 update for the curves, different color change for some of the phones, and then September to November is the next BlackBerry 10 operating
and then in
system.
February, you do have Playbook 2.0 coming out as well.
Yeah.
But again, all these devices,
By the
I
way,
believe,
you're
are
still on.
irrelevant
You're still
until
on.
BlackBerry 10 comes out.
You're still on the dude. You're not on you.
Let me say this. You know, with BlackBerry touting 9,000 series phones coming out over the next year,
It's a big
If
problem.
I-
that it's
Come
named.
on.
if I was a BlackBerry user and I saw this, like, give us something innovative, give us something different, give us something that's extraordinary. I'm sorry, I'm using Apple buzzwords here, but
Something
seriously, they gotta be doing something different because they're gonna lose more enterprise customers. The company I work for, huge corporation, 1,500 in the field force, not to mention numerous people in corporate offices around the world, and they're making a huge switch.
Yeah.
Off
Because they're
of
realizing that.
BlackBerry.
Well, they're realizing that the enterprise phone is not that beneficial because everybody has exchange support. These phones are secure. I mean, you're not those issues that that security issue that people were purchasing BlackBerry for, and the support that people were buying BlackBerry for, really is not necessary anymore. It's
Part
a
of that
different
is
time.
because of, like Chase has said, is that people are moving towards web applications, which iPhone and Android just does so much better at this point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. My roadmap. If I had BlackBerry, and we did this on What the Tech with Paul Thurrott, we played a game where we picked the company. We picked the company for each other, and we put out a roadmap for them. And for BlackBerry, what I would do is I would get rid of all these 9790s and 9830s and 9200s, and that is not a great way to market your phone to somebody that has no idea what BlackBerry is. I would eliminate all the phones, have one smartphone that's your flagship, and I would have one with a physical keyboard for enterprise. And that's it. That's all you need is two phones. You don't need 1,500 different phones, and you provide it on all the platforms. If you want the tablet, you add that 7-inch tablet and you stick to it. So now you have 3 devices. You're cutting costs down because you don't have 900 different phones, and they're all on the same platform.
Well, that is something that the new CEO has talked about, is that they're looking to streamline the process that they do, and they're going to start cutting the process of prototyping where, once they have that prototype done, they're going to stick to that. And I think that's a really great idea because they end up doing things and it becomes very delayed.
But see, here's the thing,
Suncast.
Suncast.
Delayed.
Here's the problem with that. They're not doing it as a new business model to benefit the company. They're doing that because they're kind of being forced to do it because they're realizing that financially they cannot support all these platforms. They're doing it as a secondary thing to survive. They're not doing it to innovate.
Right. I mean,
That's my
there's
issue
a lot
with
of
it.
concerns out there right now as far as if Thorsten Heinz is going to be able to do the job that's needed to make RIM, as he says, a top 3 player worldwide.
Do you think
That's
QNX
a lot of stuff to say right there?
Do you think
to say that
QNX
they're going
is-
to be that big?
Do you feel like QNX is that good of a platform for BlackBerry to kind of do you feel like with QNX they're going to be able to do it?
Only time is really going to be able to tell. My gut, though, is, I'm very skeptical because, as I said, the BlackBerry Playbook, which is based on QNX, what was a failure of a product. Nobody really was interested. They've sold less than 1 million of these things.
Yeah.
So now they're going to bet on all of that. Now, yeah, it's going to be better than what the BlackBerry Playbook was. But as I said, even if you have a miserable first launch of a product, the second generation is doomed to fail because that first generation was a failure.
Yeah.
We saw this is a very good example. The BlackBerry Storm, the first generation, was not a great device, and I think that doomed the rest of the line from here on out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what I was trying to say. I think I said bold earlier, but yeah, the Storm. You're right. The one thing about BlackBerry is they need to kind of refocus on what made them great, and that was the enterprise support, the email support, BlackBerry Messenger. They have some great products in their portfolio, and what they really need to do is make those products even stronger and better, make a better piece of hardware, and grow off of that. They don't, I mean, they put out a tablet because they kind of felt like they had to try to compete with Apple and
Yeah.
Android devices. They need to refocus, and I agree with you, Andrew. They need to get rid of these 9,000. Oh, I have the 9550. Who gives a rip? You just get a really good, solid device that works, and people will flock to it. Call it the BlackBerry blah, whatever you want to call it. Have a solid name for it, and then people can identify it with it and make it good hardware, decent software, and then people will not leave you. And that's the problem right now. Is I think they're betting too much on enterprise customers sticking with them, and unless they make drastic changes, because enterprise customers have a roadmap of their own, which in technology usually is 2 to 5 years. They need to accelerate stuff quickly, and from what I see right now, this rumored roadmap does not look good.
No, you know what I would do? One thing that I would do, and then we'll move on to the next topic, is I would actually put BlackBerry Messenger on all the platforms.
Oh yeah,
I would just open it up and say, "Here
Yeah.
you go." I mean, it still puts the BlackBerry
They are
name
looking
out.
at licensing BlackBerry operating system. The problem is, who's actually going to be interested in it? You have Android, you have Windows Phone, you have iPhone. Why would anybody be interested in BlackBerry OS?
Yeah. One company, it's interesting. We're talking about BlackBerry in the phone market, and there is a company in the gaming market, which Chase would be able to talk about this. Nintendo is in a bad spot right now. They have the Nintendo Wii U coming out soon. Do you know what's the release date on that?
nothing, no official date
release date. Okay.
per se, but they're saying by the end of this year is when it's slated. So probably holiday. I
Yeah.
would assume.
The Wii U is supposed to save them. I mean, hopefully it will, but there was an interesting story where they're kind of laying out their roadmap of what they're playing. Sunkast, what they're planning. Sunkast, do you have that? Because I'm having an issue here pulling up the story.
I don't necessarily have a bullet point of the roadmap. I know they were talking about and I just closed my browser.
Oh,
Great.
here we go. The new network for the Wii U. So they're going to be doing the Wii U is going to be equipped with NFC. So there's going to be a lot of stuff going on with the Wii U. But one interesting thing that I got an email when we were doing these roadmaps on Wednesday, and a viewer sent this in. They said, I would love to see Nintendo open up their archive of games to everybody, where they could have a app store and they could open up and they could do it. And they're kind of doing that with the Wii right now. But what I would love to see is remastered games, not this 3D BS brand new game, but I would love to see the
Nintendo
original
64.
game. I would love to see the original game in a in this HD revival, this 2D HD revival. And I don't know why they haven't done that. Chase, do you know what I mean? Like, would that interest you? Because that would interest me.
Well, they did it before. They did it a long time ago. I don't put on your memory cap. So you have, Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario 2, 3, and all that. And then when the Super Nintendo came out, there was a game called Super Mario Brothers All-Stars.
All-Stars, yeah.
Where they took the previous games and they converted them over to the 16-bit love, gave them some added bump in music. The gameplay was still solid as ever. And I still play it to today. I'll still play it on my MAME cabinet. The thing is, though, with Nintendo is they're so protective of their first run titles, and they very rarely, in that instance, as you see, ever repeat them. Will they repeat it with the Wii U? Possibly. I think they're going to need to do something to spice up interest. I know in our gaming community with our listeners and viewers, Wii U is just like, oh, great. It's just another, come on, Nintendo, really a huge controller with a screen on it, high def, and you can only have one of those huge screen controllers connected at one time. I mean, we're gonna see a lot more at E3 this year, obviously, and we're looking forward to that. But as it stands right now, Nintendo needs to do something quick because the 3DS has been a failure to this point.
Oh, total
it's starting
failure.
to gain traction a little bit, but it's been a total failure because Nintendo's still counting on the handheld market, and so they need to shift gears. Obviously, they're trying to spin up some positive information on the new network for the Wii U. Hopefully, they can do something better than their whole friend code situation on the existing Wii.
Well, the advantage that Nintendo has is the affordability. They kind of cater to a younger market, but if they could capture the nostalgia that a lot of people have with a lot of these games, and they would just take the games, remaster, make them HD, dub the HD title, and keep them in 2D. Don't mess up the gameplay. Keep like Zelda, for example. They could do a great job.
But
yeah,
isn't that
they
just
do
kind of more or less buying them time?
No, because their catalog is so big. They have such a large catalog where if they released, a handful of these games every year, and I'm talking about done properly. I'm not saying just bump the graphics a little bit. I'm saying done.
So kind of like, with DVDs going to Blu-ray, they remaster them for Blu-ray. Say, oh, everything's in pristine color now with 7.1 surround sound.
Yeah. I'll tell you, somebody, I don't know where it was. I saw an image on Reddit. I don't know if it was a real image or if it was like if it was just like a fan-made image, and they were showing Legend of Zelda, the original Zelda. And it was the same Zelda as, the one that came out years ago, the original Zelda, but it was redone. And I guess I don't know if it was an actual game. Do you know what I'm talking about, Chase? It came out a couple days ago.
Yeah, gosh, I don't know. One thing I was going to follow up with a question about was, so talking about remastering old games for new systems, Sega just did this with Sonic. It's called Sonic Generations, which looks phenomenal. If you ever had a chance to play it on the PC or Xbox 360 arcade, it looks great. But it's priced really low. It's priced, I want to say, what, $15, $20. The thing is, if they put all this energy into the Wii U and to put a game out that's $20, remember, games sell the system. They're selling the system usually at a loss. The games are supposed to make up that cost. Would you pay $60 for a reran title?
No, I would not. But no.
See, that's
no way.
Yeah, and that's the problem. I mean, so right now they got to have some good first-party titles, good third-party titles for the console that take it seriously. But it all goes back to what I said before. What makes the Wii U, and they're trying to tout it as different, is the secondary screen, but you can only use one of them per console. That kind of stuff kind of turns me off a little bit. And it's very weird.
I mean, but you know what? We said the same thing when Nintendo released the Wii, and they were showing that new, the controller. I don't know anybody that looked at that thing and said, wow, this is going to work.
I was one of them.
Were you?
I was one of them.
You thought it would work?
I was. Well,
I looked at that thing. I said, wow, this is such a big mistake, and it turned out to be a great success for them.
Well, it was a great limited success. I'll tell. I can't tell you the last time I all right, insert your jokes here. I can't remember the last time I played with my Wii.
That's what she said.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, it's true. I don't remember because when I first bought it, it was all about Wii Sports, maybe some Super Mario Brothers Wii, and I haven't played it in a long time because there's nothing pulling me back to the console when I have such deeper and rich games on the 360 and PS3 to play.
Yeah.
And when I'm a nostalgia guy like you. I love the old consoles. I love the old games.
I would love to see like the original Final Fantasies, redone.
Yeah.
I would love to see that. But I don't know. I'm hoping, they really get their act together because the branding is great. If this console does not work, a lot of people may get their wishes by Nintendo finally licensing their games on other platforms.
Andrew, though, here's the thing, though. If that happens,
it's a nail in the coffin for Nintendo, though.
It is. I mean, you look what happened with Sega. Okay, they put their eggs in a huge basket and it was called Dreamcast.
which
Not
I
Suncast,
loved.
Dreamcast.
I thought the Suncast system was the best system ever. No,
I
Dreamcast to me,
agree.
Dreamcast was phenomenal. It was before its time. It was really good. The problem was that it was very easy to pirate games, and everybody did it.
Well, it was the first mainstream system to have a network, the Sega Net, where you can interconnect and play games against people. They had the 2K Sports franchise, which was huge and really giving EA Sports a run for their money. Part of the things that helped kill the Suncast Dreamcast console was, EA didn't have any support for that console. I remember working the launch party at $99.99 when that console came out. Phenomenal console, but Sega just couldn't sustain once the PlayStation 2 came out.
Yeah.
And so what did Sega do? They went ahead and started licensing their character Sonic to other games. If you see Nintendo do that, that's a huge red flag, in my opinion.
That
is,
and it will be. But that's what they're going to have to do if this fails.
Yeah.
They're going to have to do that, and they're going to start licensing Mario on, the Xbox. And that's going to be bizarre.
See, I don't know why Nintendo wanted to try to make a second-generation Wii, per se. I mean, it would have been nice for them just to say, all right, well, the Wii was a cool thing to play, and now we're going to move on to something a little bit different, but still Nintendo. But they didn't do that.
There are some rumors out there saying that they're not going to call it the Wii U now.
Yeah, I saw that too, but I think they're going to end up sticking to it. Nintendo likes those weird names. I do want to move on, though. I want to move on to something that I influenced the New York Post, right?
You're psychic now.
I'm a psychic because on Wednesday, we were discussing what to do with Amazon. And I said, they have to kind of change their business practice when it comes to content as a content provider and the way that they're going to distribute, movies and music. They're kind of selling it as if it's a physical good. And that's totally the wrong way of doing it. Right now, there you have the Amazon Instant Video, but with a Amazon Prime account, I believe for $79, you get access to a number of their titles.
But you still have to pay for most of the stuff on there.
Yeah, so what happens is, let's say I want to watch How I Met Your Mother from 2 years ago, season, let's say, 2. I'm just throwing out numbers. I don't know what season they're at. That'll be fully available, and I could watch it. But let's say I want to watch the current season. I have to pay $1.99 or $2.99 per episode. It's very confusing to anybody that uses uses the Amazon Instant Video because they really don't separate it. It's in the same area. So you kind of feel gypped in a way when you're using it.
I've had issues with that too, where I've gone to Amazon to their Instant Video stuff, and I've been looking for previous seasons of TV shows that I want to get caught up on or I just found out about. But even some of the past seasons, they want money for. I'm like, no. Yeah. I'm not going to pay money for our past season.
So apparently now they're going to change their model. Suncast, what are they exactly? What is the New York Post reporting? By the way, the New York Post is now one of the most accredited papers. So,
the rumor now is that they're going to come out and have a standalone video service, which is basically what you were saying on Tuesday with Paul on What the Tech.
Yeah, but are they going to?
At this point, it's all just a rumor.
It is all rumor.
They were talking to Netflix about this, and Netflix was like, yeah, this does sound like something that they would do and something they should probably do, but we're not worried about it because they're not going to be able to compete with us.
Why isn't iTunes doing this yet, Chase? Why do you think iTunes is not doing a subscription model for video?
They don't want to piss off their partners that they have currently, because I believe that their partners probably make a lot more money off the pay per episode or pay per season model, as opposed to the one chunk of pay per price that Netflix is doing.
See, even though they do stuff like that, though, it's still expensive. Even if you want to, purchase a season pass, I believe it's still more expensive than most people want to pay.
Right. Well, that's why Apple. But see, though Apple doesn't do it, they don't make that change because they don't want to piss off the content providers, ABC, NBC, CBS, the major ones, and the people who sell those items in the iTunes store. They don't want to piss those guys off and have a subscription-based flat all-you-can-eat model. It just, they just don't want to do that. It doesn't work for them right now. And then besides, you look at these content providers, especially with Netflix, like I think Warner Brothers just recently announced that, our new releases, we're thinking about pushing that back to 56 days before you can watch those on to watch those on Netflix because they're losing so much money from the DVD sales and things of that nature.
Listen, I am willing to pay. Honestly, I'm willing to pay any one of these companies, $40 a month, for example, if I could have all my shows.
Yeah, if you're talking about every show. See, I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
I would pay probably $25, $30, $35 a month, I think, if there was a service out there that had every single TV show, past seasons, plus the current seasons, with the newest episodes that just air that night, like an hour or two after they air. I would be totally up for paying money for something like that.
Yeah, but the problem that you guys are probably still forgetting about here is, remember, broadcast television is still king.
Yeah.
And revenue is still king here, and these major content providers make a lot more money by putting their shows via cable, getting subscriber fees through the cable systems that carry those channels, and also over the air broadcast. The major networks. They're not making the money off of online streams. They're making the money still off of traditional methods. And until really, and another thing you guys got to think about here too is the cable and satellite providers. If you can pay $40 and get every show that you want, what's the point of somebody watching and getting a cable service? So they're going to try to remain competitive here. And besides, there won't be a service, unfortunately, that will give you everything for $40 because why would anybody get cable in the first place?
I mean, look, Hulu is very aggressive, and Hulu has been doing a great job with new content. They've been kind of providing new content on there, but I don't think Hulu is really. In the end, I think Hulu's going to get bought out by one of these guys.
I'd say a good fit for Hulu, oddly enough, I think would be Netflix to help build their portfolio of shows and content that they can provide. The one thing, though, is the Hulu Plus service is you pay a monthly fee for it, and you still get advertising. And that's one thing a lot of people who subscribe to Netflix are not used to. They pay a monthly fee, and then they just watch their show. Granted, though, those shows that you're watching on Netflix are not usually first-run live titles. They're a season or two old, or something from a few months back, or whatever the case may be. If you're watching television shows,
it's fascinating how they're all missing
that,
something.
The line of thinking there is like, okay, well, I'm going to pay for something, but I still have to watch advertising.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, remember, it was the whole thing where you can get the back catalog of shows and seasons and stuff if you use the paid Hulu Plus service. Plus, you would have access to the Hulu app on the phone.
Yeah, they're kind of targeting it as a network. You pay for your cable, and you got commercials. That should be
an added bonus. See, that should be something that's an incentive to paying. All right, well, if you want to pay us, we'll remove ads and give you every past season of all the shows that we have.
Yeah.
One quick thing, I want to bring it back to Amazon real quick.
Sure.
And that is, I really wish that Amazon would have. They have their instant video streaming, which I've used probably 5 or 6 times, and I love Amazon Prime, and I use it constantly for buying products and stuff. But gosh, why can't you, Amazon, come out with an Amazon Instant Video app for my iPhone, or have a nice app for my Boxy Box, or an app in the Xbox Live Marketplace? I mean, right now, if you want to watch Amazon streaming easily, you can use a Google Logitech review, but you're still going to the website. They don't have a really simple, clean app. God, if they had a simple, clean app,
this a Kindle Fire.
If they had yeah, I know, but if they had a simple, clean app, I would consume more of that content, and I would maybe shift some of my viewing. Come on, Amazon, get real.
Yeah. Sankes, you want to go into the next story?
Oh, I get to pick again?
Yeah, you get to pick all of them today.
I get to pick all of them.
Yeah.
I kind of want to talk about this AT&T stuff, because AT&T had a couple of interesting stories this week. One, which they blasted the FCC over their, quote, bureaucratic crap for taking their deal with T-Mobile. And the second one is that them and T-Mobile are now asking the FCC for approval for AT&T to transfer spectrum to T-Mobile.
So how did that happen?
That sweetheart deal.
Yeah, so what's going on with this? That's an interesting thing they're doing.
It's a little ironic in the fact that, if we remember when this deal started happening, is AT&T said, we need spectrum. T-Mobile has spectrum. We're going to buy T-Mobile because we need their spectrum. We can't survive unless we buy T-Mobile and their spectrum. Wait, now we're, a year later? I guess we can, give T-Mobile some spectrum and trade for, $1 billion off that sweetheart deal.
Yeah, see,
Well-
this is interesting. Now, does T-Mobile have a future, and is T-Mobile going to survive? Considering Deutsche Telekom kind of does not really want them.
Well, a couple of months ago, T-Mobile USA, announced that, and they announced this internally to their employees that, granted the merger failed, but they are committed now more than ever to the future of T-Mobile, and did not even hint at the possibility of letting another company buy them out, like a Sprint or anything like that of that nature. I mean, granted, this whole spectrum transfer obviously is a result from the failed merger. But the interesting thing is, I don't know if you guys had a chance to take a look at the actual map of the spectrum transfer. A lot of it's happening on the West Coast, and I think the Midwest, where T-Mobile's coverage isn't the greatest in the world, and where AT&T had excess spectrum in the first place. So I'm actually, I'm not a T-Mobile customer, but I know a lot of T-Mobile friends in my area, because I'm up here in the Pacific Northwest, where they are just excited about this opportunity because that means better coverage for them. But really AT&T, they really need to start getting their act together, and quick. Obviously, with Verizon doing their upgrades, with the 4G LTE stuff. I know this is not part of the rundown of the stories, but obviously, I don't know if you guys knew, but AT&T is jacking their cost on data rates.
Yeah.
Raising them by $5 for each plan.
Exactly. So it makes you wonder what the hell AT&T is up to. Obviously, I think they're worried more in the long term that they're not going to be the leader with excess bandwidth. They're going to be chasing Verizon, and they already are in some respects.
Well, Verizon has become the king of wireless at this point, but it's interesting how this is working. Since getting the iPhone, it's really changed the momentum for them, where people were still going to AT&T because of the iPhone, but now it's open fields, and now they're saying that the next generation iPhone might be able to support T-Mobile, and what is that going to do for
the new
AT&T?
chipset's going to be able to support it. Yeah,
the new chipset will support it. Now we don't know if it's going to have it. We don't know yet. It's all rumors, but. What does this mean for AT&T in the long run? Because now everybody has the iPhone. Sprint, T-Mobile, AT&T, and Verizon all have the iPhone. It's even playing field.
AT&T has always had a long past of issues with their customers. So to me, it doesn't surprise me that now that there's no difference between AT&T and Verizon in terms of who has the iPhone. Obviously, a good choice is Verizon, because AT&T does have that history of abusing its customers. So why wouldn't you decide, all right, well, I can just go to Verizon?
Yeah, physically too, right? Physically abusing them. We're talking throwing phones at them.
I just think this is really ironic and strange that the same week that AT&T goes to the FCC asking for the spectrum approval to give it to T-Mobile, they're also blasting them at the same time, saying the rules are so fluid, you can drink out of them right now. And their biggest problem, quote, is identifying what the rules are. It's figuring out how much we're allowed to buy. So you're going to blast them at the same time you're going to ask them for permission to transfer the spectrum to T-Mobile.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense to me. You're like, you suck. But can you do this for me, please?
Yeah, they're just pissed off because for one time in AT&T's probably long history, they tried to buy off politicians and to get approval for the transfer, and it didn't happen, for the merger, and it didn't happen. And the CEO is obviously pissed off that all the money that they've tried to use to pay off the politicians didn't work, and so he's using a conference call to throw a shot in there at the FCC because. He's, obviously because of the failed merger, they have to give the spectrum to T-Mobile, which ironically enough, they said, oh, we didn't have any extra spectrum. And I mean, it's like, come on. I mean, we're not stupid. At least, us, that covered the tech news. We're not stupid. But, obviously the thing is, local mom and pop and people who use your cell phone, all they care about is, do they have full bars and the phone works?
And it works, exactly.
That's all they
This week,
that sort of stuff right there, though, makes me think twice about if I would ever want to go and use AT&T. When you got a CEO that acts like that and says those things and treats his customers that way, why would you want to go to AT&T?
Yeah, the state of file sharing websites has really. It's actually amazing what has happened. Mega Upload last week got hit hard. The United States pretty much shut them down in New Zealand, which is phenomenal. It's mind-blowing, actually. Phenomenal is not the right word. And there's a lot of, actually, conspiracy behind why they were so aggressive in shutting that Mega Upload. It turns out that they have come out with a music platform, a cloud-based music platform that would give the artist very high royalty checks compared to the other guys. And before it came out, do you know what the name was of the service? Mega Cloud or Mega Cloud, right?
I think so, yeah.
So in the as that was about to debut, they got raided. And now they're being shut down, and he's facing.
The story has gotten really bizarre.
It's gotten really bizarre. And the guy, I mean, Kim, what's his name?
Kim.com.
Kim.com.
Kim
Schultz, yeah,
or something like that.
Which is he's a bizarre dude, and he the story is that they raided him, and he locked himself in his like a safe room with a shotgun. Which
because they filed some sort of gun charges against him now.
Listen, I would do the same thing too. If I was being raided and I didn't know what the hell was happening, guess what? I would lock myself in my safe room with a gun too.
Absolutely.
So, but now that has become the small piece of the story, where almost every one of these file sharing sites, they're starting to either stop or really get limited in the amount of files. File servers stop file sharing. You could download your own files, delete multiple files, banning premium accounts, closing the affiliate program. They've changed server locations, taken down its Facebook page.
Some of them have gone as far as blocking access to their website from U.S. visitors.
Yeah, Video BB has closed the affiliate program. FileHost started suspending accounts. Upload.to blocking U.S. access. File Jungle, owned by File Server, same as above, is testing U.S. IP blocking. 4share is deleting multiple files. So they are all, one by one, shutting down because they were terrified that the same thing will happen to them. Now, first of all, I had no idea any of these sites were used for any kind of piracy. I only thought they were used for porn.
Well, I mean, maybe that's how you use them, Andrew. But...
I mean, I've just heard. I mean, I don't know. But
right,
people have said,
I mean,
people have sent me emails saying, don't people just use these file sharing sites to share porn?
We were just talking the other day about you had a subscription to FileSonic.
Did I?
Yeah, you said that you were paying money. You didn't even know you were paying
I had no idea.
money.
Yeah, I had no idea why I had it.
Now they don't even really exist.
Yeah, and I closed it, right? I shut it down.
Yeah.
That's funny. Why did we get it? You know what? We probably got it to see if we could share files like that, like show files.
I don't even remember.
And I was looking back, like, because everything is through PayPal, through the company, and I had no idea. Because we sign up for stuff all the time. And I guess I was paying them for like 8 months, and I never used it.
Yeah.
And I canceled the account, and all this started happening.
You know, that is another aspect of the story that I think is kind of sad, is that you have this shakeup in the file sharing industry now, and a lot of these websites and services that offered file sharing in some sort of capacity are either scaling back or disabling their service altogether. What happens to these people that have paid for the premium service, and now they're not able to get that premium service?
Well, now the people that had signed up for Mega Upload are going to sue the FBI.
I think they have a right to.
Yeah.
Well, suing the FBI, if you're one of those customers, that it's a judge is going to toss that out. I mean, I'm not
saying it's going to be successful. I'm just saying you have the right to.
Well, sure you do.
Yeah.
I mean, of course you have the right to. I mean, the thing is, if you're a smart person and you know a little bit about the legal system, if you've suffered any losses, the company that did that to you. So, I mean, granted, the FBI shut down the company, okay? The company had no choice. They didn't have any say in the matter. However, you're a party to that company. So therefore, you sue the company. Then the company's responsibility is to sue the FBI, not you. That being said, though, it's very important that when anybody signs up for one of these services, that you read the terms of service very carefully. The EULA that most people never read and just click agree and click OK, there's probably some language in there that allows them to shut down and do things at their will without any warning. And people need to read these languages and know what they're being said before they sign up for these services, and especially before paying any money to these services.
How is RapidShare still in business?
Well, they went through a similar situation, I think, a few years ago, where they were being looked at hardcore for their piracy, and they sort of changed a lot of the things that they do. Some of their practices they tightened down for a while, but now they've kind of cropped up back to the top again, I think.
I think, listen, these files, I mean, we all know that a lot of people use them for piracy and they use them for file transfers, but that's not the big problem. It's the same issue as SOPA. You know, some people are doing things that are illegal, and we understand that, but what's going to happen to services like Dropbox? Are they going to start coming after them?
Well, remember, Dropbox is all encrypted. It's not a public thing where they know what you're uploading and downloading, that sort of thing. You're giving a specific link.
Government can still force them to unencrypt stuff now. So,
yeah, and that's why if you're going to upload something, I encourage you to encrypt. Then you upload to there, and then the government can download by encrypted files. They're not going to get anything with them.
Yeah,
but then they can force you to unencrypt them.
Yeah,
there was a case recently where a judge ruled that the government had the right to force this person to unencrypt the data on their laptop.
Well, I would like to know the excruciating circumstances around that. Was he crossing an international border? It
was a big story this week. I forgot what the story was.
Yeah, I probably missed it.
Yeah,
but I for example, I live so close to Canada. I always make sure that if I have any sensitive data, to lock it down because since I'm crossing an international border, they could seize my laptop for no reason.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so, I always make sure of that to encrypt your data. Now, they can't force you to unencrypt at the border. And you're like, here, have my laptop. Good luck. And if you get my data in 40 years, good for you. All that porn. But seriously, I mean, I like to know the excruciating circumstances behind it. But I would say that, protect your data. And if you're using a file sharing site, if you're using it legitimately and not dealing with porn like Andrew says he wasn't doing, but he kind of was. But if you're dealing with porn,
what's
or
worse,
dealing
having
with
a horde of Savage Garden songs or porn?
Savage Garden is much worse. I would rather be caught with the porn. Another big story before we go into our picks of the week. John Rubinstein is leaving HP. Former Palm chief has left HP after completing 24-month commitment period he had agreed to when HP acquired Palm. The story first broke on All Things D. He is saying that John has fulfilled his commitments and they wish him well. For people who don't know, Rubinstein rose to fame as a hardware guru behind NeXT, ultimately joining Apple during the acquisition in 1996. He was instrumental in developing the iMac and the Power Mac. So this is a big name to leave HP. I mean, obviously he was going to leave HP, but interesting where he goes now because he is an interesting guy to kind of have in your pocket.
Absolutely.
HP, HP's a fascinating company because they had that PR nightmare over the summer, and they really, I don't know if WebOS dropping WebOS was the best thing they could have done. WebOS has also shown a roadmap. HP has shown the open source roadmap for WebOS, and it's very aggressive in trying to get developers to start developing for WebOS, which I'm actually really happy with. But HP kind of has become one of those big bloated companies. That
I would agree with that.
Are all these companies becoming the next IBM? And it's scary to think that they actually considered leaving the PC market and leaving, the hardware market. I'd just love to be a fly on the wall in that company. But, where would John go? I mean, he's an instrumental part in WebOS and in Palm, so I'm interested to see what he does.
Well, in short term, he says that he's going to take some well-deserved time off.
Yeah. So I guess you froze, by the way. Your video froze.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
I
don't know. What do you think, Chase?
Well, it's interesting. John, obviously he had to fulfill his obligation. I like how they wrote this. He fulfilled his commitment, and we wish him well. Obviously, maybe he was just kind of stuck there because of the whole, obviously, HP Palm situation. He's got a lot of great knowledge when it comes to mobile platforms and mobile OSs. Obviously he's going to take some time off, and then when he comes back, I mean, who knows what could happen? I mean, here's a potential, and there's no rumor to this. I'm just throwing this out there. But what if BlackBerry really wanted to shake things up and say, hey, we want to bring somebody in that's really experienced in these matters. Hey, John, you want to come over here and work with us and help us regain our statue?
Well, I mean, listen, he got HP to purchase Palm as it was dying for $1 billion. So he's a good guy to have on your side. But you know what is interesting? This kind of draws even more of a comparison between Palm and BlackBerry at this point, right? I mean, they are this generation, this time's Palm, this year's Palm.
Yeah, the only thing is though, when at the time when HP got Palm, I think Palm was in a much more sensitive situation than I think BlackBerry is right now. Maybe not by much, but I think BlackBerry still has, and RIM still has the opportunity to make some significant changes and turn some things around. I think when HP got Palm, Palm was already in a life support situation, I think, and that's why HP picked up Palm, because it was, well, at the time was considered cheap. And so, but right now, I think BlackBerry, they still have the solid user base. They have a lot more users than Palm did when HP bought them. So I think, right now, I wouldn't equate that yet. I think if we revisit this in a year or maybe in a year and a half, we might be talking about that. But I think this is going to be it for BlackBerry this year, to try to not turn into a Palm situation.
Do you think they're going to die this year?
BlackBerry?
BlackBerry.
No, I don't think they're going to die this year, but they need to make some significant changes this year, come out with some innovative stuff. I honestly, if I was, you don't
believe that they haven't been innovative like their new CEO says?
I feel a little sarcasm there, Sungas. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Not yet. I mean, when I see enterprise companies, including my own, leaving RIM and going with another provider, I think they're in trouble. But they can make some significant changes this year. I honestly, if I was them, I wouldn't even be concentrating on a tablet, because right now, really, there's only one or two tablets out there that are the king of tablets. So I would stay out of that space, unless they want to come up with an enterprise tablet specifically for customers who want a tablet from BlackBerry. But I wouldn't come out with something mainstream.
That's what their whole point of what the playbook was supposed to be, was an enterprise-based playbook.
Yeah, but they're selling it at retail at Staples, and trying to get it to the general public.
Yeah, which is totally wrong. What does that say about their marketing and the way they're pushing their items? We do need to go into picks of the week because we have other shows here today. Busy schedule here at the GFK Network. 4 shows today, and we're kind of running short on time. So we're going to go on our picks of the week. And you know what? Let me do the first pick. What do you guys say?
Go for it.
I haven't done the first pick in a long, long time. So my pick this week is a game. I don't think I've done a game for a while. It's for the iPad. Every year this game comes out. It's called Baseball 2012. I have Baseball 2010 and Baseball 2011. 2012, I just saw it in Marketplace, and I've been playing it. I don't know if I could show you guys. It's a really interesting animated, very Japanese animated style baseball game where you kind of you could either be a pitcher or the hitter, and your manager gives you these achievement points, and you got to match the achievement points. You have to kind of balance your health and your popularity. It's almost like an RPG in a baseball game of sorts. I absolutely love it. Now, Chase, do you have the previous versions of this?
I've only played it on the iPhone, not the iPad.
Okay,
but I have played it. Yeah.
I remember paying for it for the previous versions of the game. This one is free.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's not, and it's a full version. I actually thought at one point that it wasn't a full version when I was getting it, but it's free, so anybody could go download it. It's on iOS, on both the iPhone and the iPad. Baseball 2012, I think it's the best baseball game for this platform. It's an excellent
Does it have
game.
license? Does it have any licensed players or teams, though?
No, it does not. It's a total. It's almost like an anime. I mean, here, I'll hold it up. So I don't know if you guys could see. So let's see.
Oh wow, looks nice.
Yeah. I can't see,
I like
so
that.
I'm just swinging. So the graphics are improved. Really cool game. I'll probably play that all weekend. That's what I do with this. So I download them every year. I play them all weekend, and then I start building my character, and then I'll stop for a little bit and go back. Really cool game, Baseball 2012 in the iOS marketplace. I actually downloaded another game, and it was a pinball game I wanted to promote, but I can't get it to work for whatever reason. They updated it, and now it's crashing. So maybe if they fix that, I'll get it. And Temple Run's another cool game. I haven't done that in a while. Chase, what is your pick?
My pick this week, a lot of people may or may not know, especially if you watch GeekGamer.tv, that I'm a huge pinball fanboy. I love pinball.
Are you really?
I'm huge, and I actually have 3 machines in the garage.
By the way, I absolutely, that's what I was talking about. I got a pinball app here that I was playing all weekend.
Yeah,
I love pinball.
I'm a huge pinball fanboy, and this year I actually, end of March, beginning of April, I'll be heading to Pittsburgh for the Pinburgh 2012 Match Play Tournament, which is a huge tournament. That's a side story. Anyway, my pick is the Pinball Archive for Videos. If you go to pinball.org/videos, there you will find a huge library of gameplay videos and a few tutorial videos sprinkled in there. If there's a machine out there that you want to learn more about, let's say you really want to learn more about the Addams Family, one of the most popular pinball games in the world, #1 mass-produced game in the world, and you want to learn how to play the game and get more points, you can watch a full top-down video of that game with a voiceover tutorial. Most of them are from Bowen Kirkins. He won the World Championships a few years ago, and it's just incredible library, and videos are being added all the time, almost every other day. If there's a machine that you've heard of or you haven't even heard of, you can click and check out the action. It's free. It's incredible. And it's a huge archive, and it's building all the time. I encourage you guys to check it out, pinball.org/videos.
I actually I want to get a pinball machine in the worst way.
I can help. I can help you with that. I have pinball price guides. I can help if you know a particular name of a machine that you're looking for. I can tell you what's a good price. I can tell you what to look for on a machine.
I would like a pinball game made of myself. The GFQ Network pinball, and the ball is actually my face.
Whoa, and then we would smack your face all the time.
And you would smack my face all the time, yeah. It'd be a great game. I'm sure a lot of people would buy it because they want to punch me right in the face. Yeah. That's a great pick, actually, and I'm actually going to look at that because I'm a big pinball fan. Suncast.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Go for it.
My pick this week is Green Cloud. It's a virtual printer driver that helps you save paper and ink costs. A lot of these days, a lot of people want to do the green thing and not waste paper. One of the ways you can do that is with a virtual PDF printer, a virtual printer that just prints whatever it is that's on your screen. It'll make it into a PDF. There's several of those out there. There's QPDF. I think DoPDF is another one that I've used. One of the things that I like about Green Cloud, though, is that it lets you upload to Google Docs, Dropbox, and Minus, and you can also email it if you want. It's got a really great interface. If you go to the website, I don't remember it off the top of my head. Let me see real quick. ObviousIdea.com is the company that makes it. It's pretty cool because they have a lot of options here for you, more than the typical virtual printer driver that you find out there. And the best part is that it's free. I really like this because you can do a lot of things that you just don't normally do with a virtual printer. It's called Green Cloud, and you can get it at ObviousIdea.com.
Excellent, Suncast. Great pick. Great pick. Everybody should go check out Chase at geekgamer.tv. You're on Sunday nights, 10 p.m. East, right?
Late.
Yes, 10 p.m. East, 7 in the West. Typically, that's when we start this pre-show, and we get rolling around 8. Suncast rolls in about 9.
And I'm probably passed out somewhere on the couch.
Yeah. Best thing we do suggest people, hang out with us, geekgamer.tv. Also follow us on Twitter at geekgamertv. We don't spam or anything like that. We'll just let you know when we're going live, what's going on with us. And also on Thursday nights, we do a very popular Minecraft show called Minecraft Me, where I need to get Andrew on and do a Minecraft Me to help Andrew learn how to play.
What days is it on? Thursdays at what time?
We do that Thursday evenings right around 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific.
Okay, so right when I'm done with the show, so I could probably do that. And you could just hold my hand and guide me through it.
Yeah, Joe's been holding my hand, so we can just do kind of like a 3-person holding hand situation.
Some may call it a
Circle
three-way.
jerk.
Some may call it a
Some people
three-way.
call it a 3-way. Yeah, that's right.
I think
I
our
wasn't going there.
I think we'll have a wonderful three-way chase.
That'd be
I think
great.
it'll be wonderful. Geekgamer.tv. Suncast, any plugs?
My website, Amadeus.com. It's AMADAIS.com. It's a blog that features many of the artists that you see on YouTube. Some of them aren't very popular. They're just not in the mainstream. That's what I like to do. I like to go out on YouTube, find these great, amazing people that are covering songs on YouTube that nobody ever really follows, but they're really talented. I like to especially pick these people, put them on my blog. It's Amadeus, AMADAIS.com.
Also, if you miss any of our shows or you're coming late for the live show, you can check out all our shows at GFQ Live. At gfqnetwork.com. You can watch live at gfqlive.tv. We're on iTunes, we're on the Zoom, we're on every platform you can imagine. You can also subscribe to us on our website. Everything is at our website at gfqnetwork.com. They're throwing stuff at me. The behind the counter guys are waiting patiently to come in. We're running a little behind today, so stay tuned. Behind the counter is up next. Good night, everybody.